going on? We got Tequila in the house, influencer,
Hey.
YouTuber. What's going on, lady?
Hey.
Yeah, so tell the
I'm
people about
excited.
you. Yes.
Well, my name is Jessica. I've been online as BB Tequila for probably 3 years now. I've been on YouTube since 2015, but I started posting dancing content, stripper content, and that's really like I guess what made my channel like push out to people where people started noticing what I had going on. So yeah, I'm a single mom. I have a 6 year old son. He's about to be 7 on Saturday. So, um, and yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Yes. Tell the people where they can find you on YouTube, IG, Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you can find me on YouTube as Life is Jess. I also have another channel called Jess Eats, which is my new channel, which is going to be like me doing mukbangs and cooking videos. And then you can also find me on official underscore Life is Jess on Instagram. And I just started a new Instagram called Content Revolution Her, which is about showing women tips and hacks on creating content. So that's
Ooh,
where you can find me.
yes. Do you have an ebook too?
I do. I have multiple ebooks. I have a successful guide to brand deals ebook, which is basically teaching you how to get brand deals. You can find that on Content Revolution Her Brand Deals Guide, which is pretty much teaching you how to get brand deals, work with companies, and get free products sent to you so you can make money. And then I'm working on an ebook right now called How to Make Money Using Your Phone, which is basically like making content, and all the different ways that you can make money online and all the different platforms you can use to make money. I feel like a lot of people use social media just to like get on and scroll a lot of the time or just to use for entertainment. And there's a lot of people who don't know how much money you can actually make online. So that's really my goal with like YouTube, Instagram, and all my social media platforms is to just show people like you can use it as an avenue to actually profit. So yeah.
Yes. And I will be leaving all her information in the bio.
Thank you.
So it'll be linked. Guys, so just click on it and support my girl.
Thank
Okay.
you. This is
So
so
let's
cool.
tell us a little bit about. Yes, I told you. Tell me a little bit about your background. Like, where were
Mhm.
you born? Did you come from a two-parent household?
Mhm.
Like, tell us a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think I've ever actually gone into depth about my background on my channel, but I actually was adopted. So I was adopted
Okay.
straight out of the hospital, pretty much. And I was adopted into a family with 10 kids. So I'm number 4 on the line. So I have 3 other brothers, and then I'm the middle child. And yeah, I was born in Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia, and I grew up in like the Leesburg, like close to the Washington D.C. area. So, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
So, did you ever like wanted to know like who your birth mom was at
Mhm.
any in your life?
I definitely thought about it like when I was younger a lot. But it wasn't really like a rush to be like, oh, I have to meet her. It was just more of a curiosity type of thing. Like I like wonder what how she's like. I always knew what she looked like because it was a open adoption. So yeah, I
Okay.
always knew what she looked like and I always kind of had information about her, but I definitely wanted to meet her. I ended up meeting her when I was 18 years old and we've had like a really close relationship ever since. So,
Wow, that is
yeah,
so
I'm actually very
beautiful.
close to her. We was just on the phone like right before this.
Oh my God, that is
She
so
was telling me
beautiful.
congratulations on your interview.
Yeah. Age did you find out though that you were adopted since you were adopted straight out of the hospital?
um I think I probably kind of always knew. Like, I don't remember a time not knowing I wasn't adopted. I was adopted into a Caucasian family.
Hmm.
So I kind of always knew I was different. Like,
Right.
so yeah, I always kind of knew since I was very little that I was adopted.
Did you were you like ever angry or you just was just like, well, there had to be a reason or
um, Definitely, I think when I got older, I had some resentment towards my mom a little bit that I'm
Mhm.
like still working through a little bit. And I feel like it's nothing towards her because I feel like everybody has their own stuff they have to work through.
Right.
And like you said, life does its thing. And so it's like, I kind of have to work through that myself. I feel like it's something I still deal with. Not necessarily anger, but like just like there was so much that I went through after I got adopted, and
Right,
I
right,
felt like this would never have happened if I didn't get adopted. And so I kind of felt a little resentment about that. Um so yeah, it's still something I'm kind of working on, but
right,
I don't
right,
have
right,
any, like I said, I have a close relationship with my mom and she went through her own stuff.
right,
So I think it's just something I'm working through still.
right. But you're doing good at it.
Thank
As long
you.
as you got that bond, that's
Thank
it.
you.
And then you have a son too. So I think
Hmm.
too, being older and having a
Yeah.
child, you understand the importance of that bonding.
Yeah. For sure.
So going through school and everything, what
Hmm.
type of student were you? Were you like a good student?
um yeah, so like I said, I had my fair share of struggles after I was adopted, and I definitely probably had some resentment going growing up, and I got into it with my adopted parents a lot.
Hmm.
So they ended up sending me to like a boarding school,
Wow.
like
What
when
age was that?
I was 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like a boot camp based boarding school, and it was really tough for me. So
Mhm.
after that, I didn't end up coming back with my parents for a while. I ended up going to live with my aunt in South Carolina. That's kind
Okay.
of how I ended up in South Carolina. And then I went to high school, which was my first time going to public school because I was homeschooled up until that point, up until I went to the boarding school. And it was rough for me. Like going to public school for the first time, it was really rough. I had always just been around my siblings. I hadn't really been
Hmm.
around other kids. So like just kind of jumping straight into high school, it was really rough. And I kind of struggled a little bit. I got
Hmm.
good grades, surprisingly, but I skipped class a few times. I got in trouble. I told my teachers the worst lies about skipping class. Like one teacher, I was just like, oh yeah, my aunt, she's coming to pick me up for a doctor's appointment. And then I just went to the cafeteria and was like hanging out. But like I didn't know how to lie in school. Like I didn't know how to skip class
Right.
properly because I had never been in school. So like
Right. And
I didn't know
you
the
didn't have that luxury of going to class. You were just at
right.
home getting your learning
Right.
materials. Was it
Right.
hard being sociable, or did you
Oh
find
yeah.
yourself like silent for a minute?
Yeah. I'm still that way, to be honest. I'm still that way. I still have a really hard time making friends. I have a hard time socializing, but definitely in high school, I didn't like really have very many friends at all. Like I had a few friends that I was close with because of my cousin.
Hmm.
I was around her cuz I live with her, so like her friends automatically kind of became my friends. But other than that, I didn't really have anybody that I would say like, yeah, I made this friend or
Right.
and then the first few days of like me going to high school and like going to the cafeteria, I was like eating in the classroom because I like I didn't want to sit by myself. Like it was just that type of awkward thing.
Right. Right.
Um Around junior senior year, it got kind of better because I was in my school's color guard. And senior year it got better cuz I was doing color guard, so I made like a few friends. But other than that, it was I was kind of awkward. I
Wow.
still feel awkward.
I mean, was it pressure, like with the trends and
Mhm.
all kind of stuff, trying to keep up, or
Yeah.
just trying to get to find yourself who you were?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. Because
Definitely like
high school is like,
yeah, it's rough. It was rough
oh
for
my
sure.
gosh. Did you go to college or anything?
I went to college for about a year and then I dropped out. So I was going for
Okay.
public communications and business management. And
Oh,
then I
okay.
ended up quitting. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Once I started dancing actually.
What age was that?
I was 8, 19, 19.
19? Okay.
Mhm.
And was that dancing in Virginia or South Carolina?
I started dancing in South Carolina.
Carolina. Okay. How
Mhm.
was that going into it at 19?
Um, I didn't really think about it too much. My
Hmm.
friend, at the time, she was doing it, and she was like just bringing stacks of money over to my house, and we would go out. And I was like super broke at the time,
Hmm.
so like I didn't even know how I was gonna pay my bills and stuff like that. She would just bring like stacks of money and some money over, and I would just be like, "What are you doing to get this money?" Like,
Right.
and I just remember us going to shop or even just going to get food, and she would just like break open a stack of ones and pay. And I was like, whatever you're doing, I have to do it.
Right.
And when she told me at first, I was just like, not really. because I grew up in a very like strict conservative Christian
Right,
household. So I hesitated at first, but like the bills were really billing,
right,
and
right,
so
right,
I
right.
got into it.
Did your parents like what age were you when they found out that you were a dancer?
I was 19.
Like she was like a year later. What did
Yeah.
they say? Were they like disappointed or did they try to get you to
Um,
stop
They
or
didn't say anything. My aunt found out because I didn't know she had me on Snapchat. Well, actually, I had my cousin on Snapchat, and my cousin showed her. So I had my first like really big night at the club, and I was posting the money. I was like, my first $1,000 night. I was so excited.
Mhm.
And then my cousin saw it and showed my aunt, and then my aunt showed my parents.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Were you scared or you didn't like know what to expect or
Out of my parents or
uh-huh.
just um to be honest, I don't think I was thinking about it that much. Like I don't really think I cared.
Hmm.
Just because I was like so far away. Like my parents were in
Right.
Virginia. I wasn't super close with my aunt anymore. So I was kind of just doing my own thing and trying to
Yeah, it was
get
like
like
bills is due. You got to.
yeah. Exactly.
Oh my. Did you ever
Exactly.
stop between 19 and do something else and then go back? Or did you just from 19 just on just continue to dance?
I stopped when COVID happened.
Okay, so
Um
in 2020, okay.
Yeah, so 2020 I stopped and I was working at a seafood restaurant for a while. And then the seafood restaurant shut down as well, so I had started my lip gloss business.
Okay.
And from 2020 to 2021 I was completely surviving off of my lip gloss business, and I did a documentary. Yeah, I did a documentary for a German film company, and they paid me a really good amount of money too. So 2020 to 2021 I was pretty good.
Well, do you
And I
mind
was
sharing
doing YouTube as well.
how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. Okay.
Hmm.
So you're so when did you start doing the YouTube? When you started doing the lip gloss line?
I started doing YouTube. Well, I really started doing YouTube in 2015, but I
Okay.
started doing the dancing vlogs. I want to say in like 2000 when I started dancing. So that was like 2000 when I have Jakai. That was like 2017,
Okay. Okay.
2018. I probably started really on YouTube, like getting consistent with it.
So
Mhm.
2021, that's when you got back into the dancing.
Yes,
Okay. And so
2021 when the clubs opened back up. Yeah,
that
that
was
was
in
fun though.
That was South Carolina though, right?
Yeah, South
That was
Carolina,
South
Charleston,
Carolina.
South Carolina. Hmm.
Okay. And then when did you move to the ATL? What year was
Hmm.
that? That was just recently though,
Yeah,
right?
that was this year,
Okay, so from
2023.
2021 to 2022, where were you? You were still just
I was just dancing. I was in South Carolina. I did end up switching to a new club,
uh huh.
um, but I was still working in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, okay. What
Hmm.
made you move to the ATL? You just wanted something different from South Carolina,
Hmm.
or
Well,
okay,
I had been to Atlanta a few times, and when I was out there, I had met up with some other girls in the YouTube scene.
I seen that. I seen that one.
Hmm.
It was like a
And
birthday.
all
Yeah.
of them had kind of moved out there, but it was just like the vibes out there was just something I really enjoyed.
Right.
And I had really enjoyed like the culture of Atlanta. I loved the city. Like I just loved everything about it. Um, I think a lot of people think that I moved there because like I thought I was going to make more money dancing, but it wasn't even necessarily that. It was really honestly I just genuinely loved Atlanta, and every single
Right.
time I had gone out there it was like really fun and it was really good vibes. So,
And you just probably just wanted a different type of change. You're young.
yeah.
You're at an age where you're just experienced to find
Mhm.
out where do I really want to be at. I've lived in
Right.
South Carolina. I've lived in Virginia. Let me try
Right.
something else, Atlanta, and see
Yeah.
how that worked out.
Yeah, it
So,
was like that.
did you like experience any good that you
Mhm.
just stuck with you from there out of
Yeah,
Atlanta?
yeah, I did a little bit of exploring.
Uh huh.
Like I ate at a lot of the restaurants downtown,
I
and
remember
I
you
went
did
to the
that
skate
vlog.
park
Yeah.
with my son. Yeah. I loved it. I would move back to Atlanta, honestly. I would just do it under different pretenses, and I would do it in like I would set myself up a little better, and I would vet
Hmm.
out where I moved and like who I moved around, and
Right,
I would
right,
just set myself up a little better, and I would just move out there under different pretenses, and I would actually do what I wanted to do. Because
right,
I just think when I moved out there, I was just like kind of listening to so many other people about like, you need to do this and you need to work here and you need to go do this. And
right. Yeah. So that was the thing of what people were saying and
mm-hmm,
listening to, and then you too. You didn't know anybody out there. You
I don't
didn't
know
have
anybody out there.
family. You didn't have friends other than the ones that you had already knew
Mm-hmm,
prior. So you were just pretty much out there like, okay, well, they're from here. They've been out here for a minute,
mm-hmm.
so maybe they are right, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's very
man,
true.
did you enjoy working at that club while you were out there?
Like I always learn something in every situation.
Hmm.
If not about the environment, then about myself.
Right, right,
And so I wouldn't say it was a wasted time. At first, I definitely felt like I was making that new girl money.
right.
Like when they never seen you before, so they're like,
Like,
"Oh, it's
oh,
a new
she
face.
knew,
Like,
she
who is
knew.
this?" Right. So it was like me being out there in a new environment. I definitely was very excited, and then it's like I had actually auditioned at the club before and didn't get hired. So
All
being
right,
hired, I was like excited. I was like, "Wow, they want me now." Like, it was just
right,
a exciting thing at first. And then as time went by, I kind of realized like, oh, this probably not the environment that I really want to
right,
be
right,
in.
right,
And it was the way the customers made me feel when they came in. It was the way the girls made me feel, it was the way the club made me feel, and it was just overall started to become a toxic environment.
right, right,
And then it was one night I was in there and I was like, oh no, this is just straight hell. Like I
right,
I
right,
don't like it at all.
right.
And that was like getting close to the end of when I decided like this is not for, like I have to leave. Um, but yeah, at first it was definitely exciting. It was new. Um, I was hustling and
Mhm.
I liked it, but then after a while, it was just not for me.
So
Right.
now you're in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you mentioned on IG you got a job.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so how do you like that? You loving it or?
I love it. I love
Uh,
my new job. I'm a server. It's easy money. I don't have to go in there and worry about like, do I have to flirt with guys tonight? Do I have to
right,
whatever? Which, not talking down on that. Obviously, I did it for so many years, but it
right,
honestly feels like a nice change to just be able to go in and like make guarantee money and like
right,
do my job, get my tips, and go home. Not have to
right,
pay to
right,
work, not
right,
have to get naked. Like, it
right,
honestly just feels like a good, genuine change. So
right,
I'm enjoying it. I've like talked to quite a few of the I guess strip influencers, like the girls who are doing YouTube and that are
right,
dancers, and a lot of them say the same thing about feeling like I'm stuck because I feel like I have to continue to put out this content, and if I don't put out this content, nobody's going to watch. And I felt like that back in 2021 when I started doing my lip gloss business and all the clubs closed down and people were unsubscribing, people weren't following because they wanted to see that content, and I had
right,
completely switched it over to something else. And I feel like that's why I kind of feel confident now in switching it over to something else, because I know there's going to still be people who support me. There's going to still be people
right,
who watch if they genuinely like me, if they like my
right,
personality. But
right,
it does suck for the girls who feel like they can't change or they can't do anything different. And it's like, no, people are watching because of you. Like, they're not necessarily, I mean, yeah, you have your people that's going to watch because of that content, but you also have the people that's going to stick and stay on
right.
your channel.
That's
So,
gonna. It's.
mhm.
I'm happy for you, and I'm
Thank you.
happy, and I'm excited to see your growth, your change.
Yay.
So, what have
Thank
you
you.
been working on? Like, have you been collabing with other YouTubers, or are you just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit back and try to just do my own business?
Hmm.
Like, what is?
Yeah, I think right now my main focus is growing Content Revolution Her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been thinking about literally every single day. I'm like, okay, I have to post every day. I have to
Right,
wake
right,
up. I have to work on my digital products because I'm watching all these other girls who are doing like the social media marketing and who are selling digital products and who are making they're having $10,000, $20,000 months just working solely online and marketing through their YouTube channels. And
Mhm.
that's kind of where I want to be in a year. I want to be able to start working on my financial freedom without ever having to step foot in the club again.
Right,
Um,
right,
so that's my main goal. And then I'll also obviously be posting on YouTube. I just want to get creative with that and see how I can work with that to like get my viewership back without having to do anything that I don't feel comfortable doing anymore. Because
right,
I did get to a point where I felt stuck. I did get to a point where I felt like, what am I doing? Like, this is
right,
not
right,
me.
right,
This is not what I want to be doing. That's kind of why I changed the name on my channel to Official Life as Jess. Like, I had to make that jump because it's like, okay, I need people to know, like, this is me. Like,
right,
I'm Jessica. Like, I'm not Tequila. That's a part of who I was. That's a part of who I am, but that's not me, you know?
right,
I
right,
want people to know me and I want people to watch my journey, and dancing was just a part of that. Like, it's
right,
so much bigger and so much better stuff that's going to come, and I know that. So I just have to continue in that. So working on myself, working on all my little projects I got going on, working on my YouTube, and just working on my relationships as well, because I do a lot of online stuff, but like the main important thing is like the people around me and like my
right,
relationships around me. So
right. No, because the energy that you allow around you makes you to who you are. So
mhm.
if you allow negativity, then negativity energy is going to reflect off on you. So
Mhm.
yeah, I get it. I get it. It's just if you want to grow, nobody can't tell you you can't
Mhm.
grow.
Mhm.
You have to be able to grow. And I mean, I'm proud of you. You stood up
Thank
and you
you.
said, I'm doing this and this is what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And people just have to understand that it's your
Mhm.
life. It's not no one else's life, but your life. And some
Mhm.
people get caught up in the fact that they're helping you, and then it's just like, okay, but you need to do this, you need to do that.
Mhm.
And then when you're like, well, wait a minute, I want to do
Yeah.
this, it's just like, no, 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 you got to do this. What
Mhm.
worked for them may not work for you, you
Work for
know.
me. Right.
So yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah, you made the right choice for you and your son, because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, you got a son. So that's who
Yeah.
else, you have to make for sure that you do the right thing is your son
Mhm.
too.
Like, I think a lot of people think I moved because of a certain situation, or
Right,
because I
right,
didn't want to be around somebody, or
right,
because of
right,
rumors, but it wasn't any of that. It was I wasn't happy where I was and I
right,
had to make a change.
right.
And to me, I don't look at it like I was taking a step back. I
No,
honestly genuinely look at it as a step forward because I'm,
right,
surrounded by people who care about me. I'm surrounded by people who love me. He's
right,
surrounded by people who care and love him. We have
right,
like so much support around us. Like I said, I grew up in a family with 10 kids and 8 of the
right,
kids still living at home.
right,
So we're
right.
all here we're all here together. So I was living on my own for 10 years and I came back, and I think they know, like, okay, this is an adult, obviously. Like, she was living on her own for 10 years. She's not going to come in home and like just not try, just like
Right,
sit
right,
around and not try to get a job or not try to do anything. Like, she's a mother, like she's been on her own for this long. So they're very supportive of me. They're also very supportive of like, my YouTube and everything I've got going on, which is like, it's a good thing.
right.
And the people who say that, you know, you shouldn't go back and live with your parents, or like, you're taking a step back, I do genuinely feel like that's projecting.
Right,
Like, and it's not their fault because not everybody have a support system where they can say, oh, let me call up my parents and go back. Not
right,
everybody have. Some people
right,
don't have their parents around, or some people don't have supportive parents. So it's like,
right.
I don't blame those people for saying, oh, well, you're just da da da, or you're taking a step back, or you shouldn't rely on your
No.
parents. That's not me. That's just them projecting because of their situation.
Even though you're with your parents, you still got to pay your way. It's not like
Yeah.
they're saying, okay, Tequila, we're going to pay for your room, your board, your
Hmm.
food, your
Oh,
shelter,
yeah. No, they're
buy
not giving me a
clothes
free
for you
ride.
and your son. No, you still got to pay your way. That's
I'm
why
paying
you're
rent
working
here.
right now. you know, you're contributing to them, like
Hmm.
you're showing your appreciation.
Hmm.
It's just, it's a blessing for you. Now you can
Hmm.
actually make money, save it, and invest it into your business.
Exactly.
So that's a blessing, because
Hmm.
like I said, I did it. I had to go back and live with my parents for 5 years, and I'm 45. So when I went
Hmm.
back to live with my parents, I was like, I want to say 36 or 35 years old, and I
Hmm.
had kids. That's what the blessing was. When I moved back there, my daughter that's 20 was going into junior high. My son that's about to turn 23 was going into high school, and my son was just starting school, period. I was able to go back to school.
That's really good.
So it was like it was a blessing because I had that support. I didn't have to
Mhm.
pay money for people to watch my kids or
Mhm.
child care or none of that. My son, when he got out of kindergarten, if I was in class, my parents would go grab him. My other two, they can walk home, that I had that support and it was nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. And I wasn't embarrassed to say, oh, I'm 36 years old living with my parents. Yeah, I lived with
Mhm.
my parents when I was 36 years old, but I was able to save and invest in me and my kids. Your parents are still alive and you're able to go back and save and invest and they're able to help you. That's a blessing. That's not a
It is.
setback. To me, that's 10 steps forward
Mhm.
because now
It
your
feels
business
like a
is going to
step
grow.
forward.
Yes. Girl,
Mhm.
you didn't climbed up the ladder, but see, some
Mhm.
people they don't like to see that because now they're
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be able to do this before I can.
Mhm.
But no, everybody has an opportunity to do things. Some people just don't want to do it because of their pride.
Mhm.
Now your business is about to grow, and look,
I know.
you're
I'm so
able to
excited.
do more stuff. And
Yeah,
then your
it's exciting.
son is around, surrounded by loved ones and family and
Mhm.
cousins, so you're able to be you.
Mhm.
So
It
no,
does. It feels like I can finally just like breathe. Like it just I don't
right.
it's such it just I don't know. It's such a good feeling. Like I can't explain it and it's just I don't know. It's a good
Right.
feeling.
It's like 10 pounds was lifted off of
Yes.
you. You
Mhm.
don't have to make yourself, like you say, go and dance because now
Mhm.
you have a choice.
Yeah.
You're able to
Yeah.
grow you, invest in you,
Mhm.
So you made the right decision.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so
And I know your
happy.
parents are happy. They not gonna say, like, oh, glad she not out there in Atlanta.
They was ready for me to
No.
come back.
Yes.
When I
And
was
then
talking to them about it, it was like they got me a plane ticket like the next couple of days. Like,
so
but
now
I'm
it's like
good now.
you're able to breathe. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
able to breathe, relax, and invest
Hmm.
in you.
Yeah.
Invest in your business and get back to being the Tequila, the Jessica, the BB that
Hmm.
everybody knows and loves.
Yeah.
You're able to
Hmm.
do. And that's a great feeling to be able to do. This
You're
is
fine.
one question that I want to ask you that I ask all my guests.
Hmm.
If you were to tell your 18-year-old self
Hmm.
something, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I would say everything that you want right now and that you're dreaming of, you're gonna get, and then you're gonna lose it, and then you're gonna get it again, and then you'll probably lose it again, but then you're gonna get it again. And
Wow.
every single time you're gonna learn a different lesson that's gonna make you a better person. So I would just say keep going, keep pushing through because you're capable of doing every single thing that you want and that you dream. And that you're gonna have an amazingly cute and awesome kid in a year.
Ooh, yes. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
But yeah.
Oh my God. Do you
I
have
wanna
like
know yours. What was yours?
what? You know what? You're the first person to ask me.
Really?
My guest didn't even ask me. Let's see. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? I would say I would have tried to stick in and completed college, like to continue that education because I was going for psychology. And I do have
Hmm.
my AA in psychology because when I moved in with my parents,
Hmm.
I was able to continue that. So
That's good.
I would tell my 18-year-old self like there's gonna be challenges, there's
Hmm.
gonna be roadblocks, but if you stay and be persistent,
Hmm.
you can accomplish anything.
I like that.
Yes, you'll be able
I
to
like
accomplish
that.
anything.
Hmm. I'm
But yeah, like
excited for the video to drop.